welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. If you are not, I hope you find this video entertaining. Honestly, I really wanted to make a video all day yesterday, waited for the inspiration, it never came. I want to give the heads up that this video is really for me because I need more practice getting comfortable talking to a camera, to avoid, to nothingness. So that's really what this is for. And if you find this entertaining, God bless you. If you don't, I totally understand, but again, this video is for me. So yesterday was Valentine's Day. I'm wearing my pink sweatshirt. In that same theme of love, I wanted to talk about learning to love yourself, self-love, and why that is important in life. And I'm gonna start with a story that happened yesterday morning when I got up, and it started like any usual morning. I wake up, I take my temperature, I write in my dream journal anything that I remember and find significant, and I meditate. This is all happening in my bed. Then I flop out of bed and do a 10-minute yoga sequence to wake up my bones, which is very effective. And then during this sequence, the instructor asked for us to think of one word that would set an intention for the rest of our day. Like, how do you want to feel? And naturally, with it being Valentine's Day, I was like, I want to feel loved. And as I was stretching, I realized that thought, when it came, I was thinking of receiving love from other people, so outside of myself. And I got all of these memories of times where I have done that in my life, searched for love and validation and worthiness from other people to feel whole. And so that all flooded in, and immediately my mind was like, no, 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 that doesn't work. We know it doesn't work. We're not gonna go there. And so I was like, okay, finish the sequence and decided to write down a sentence that was more empowering and more focused too. And I wrote it down on my board. I have this vision, affirmation, to-do list kind of all in one board. And so I wrote, I love myself, and that love completely fills me up, and it is enough. So I think that it's more focused, it's more powerful and sustaining to really believe and accept that everything that we search for in other people is already within us. And all of that love, all of that just really life force is within us. We just have to keep reminding ourselves, and I have to do the same. I have to keep reminding myself that that is the truth. Moving forward in life, you know, there's social media now, and it's very prevalent, and they make those like buttons as little endorphin hits. The tech people that design these softwares, they know that that's the effect that it has on us. And social media can be used as a beautiful tool, like very useful. However, on the other end, you can slip into the negativity of it, where you get caught up in the numbers and you get caught up in the likes and all of that stuff. So that's on the same tip of needing something outside of yourself, and relying on other people to fulfill you in any way is always going to be a losing game, 100%, because people are human. They will disappoint you. Nobody communicates perfectly, so feelings could get hurt and all of that jazz. So it's just, again, a good idea to find that within yourself. And some tips I would like to share with you. Number one is meditation. Number one, it has to be meditation, because sitting down and connecting with yourself and just touching your heart, holding your body, it's a coming home that you find, and it's very grounding. Like if you're feeling all crazy, anything happens during your day, like you're going through any traumatic experience, really try and take up a practice of meditation, because that will be a useful tool and opportunity for you to really come back to that love that is within you and is always there. So meditation is one. Two is honestly just time. I'm gonna be 30 here pretty soon, and I've had a lot of experiences, as I mentioned prior, that I'm not gonna go into details, but within my relationships have been very embarrassing, the way I have acted. And it's crazy too, when I was doing the things, I knew in my head that it wasn't right. I'm like looking at myself doing the thing and thinking, Brittany, what are you doing? Like, this, stop. But you can't stop. You just have to see it through. You have to learn the lesson, I suppose. And hopefully you can relate to that. Again, I'm not going to go into details, but I'm sure you can relate in whatever way that resonates with you. Yeah, experience having those lessons over and over, though they are painful, they are so necessary, and thank God for growth and evolving and progress, because your girl was acting a fool at times, not all the time. So experience. And then I will move on to getting a good foundation and connection with your body in what you put into it. Personally, I made a really big New Year's resolution to not drink alcohol this entire year, which is pretty big. I mean, I wasn't a huge drinker. I would definitely drink probably 4 or 5 times a month, but it just was kind of coming to a head. Like, the last handful of times that I was drunk, afterwards I would just be like, what really did that do for me? Like, I have over a decade of experience of drinking, you know what I mean? Like, I know what the deal is. I know how I'm gonna act. I know how other people are gonna act. I know what's gonna happen. I know how I'm gonna feel. And then the next day, I'm not gonna be useful at all. I'm literally gonna waste an entire day of my life because I have poisoned myself all night. So that's just kind of where my mindset is right now. I know other people are there, that's totally fine. I respect everyone's journeys, but for me, it's just, I've reached a point in my life where it's not serving me, and also reached a point in my life where everything that I do, I want it to serve me in some capacity. And now that I say that, I guess on a grander scale, you could look at everything that you experience as something that serves you, lessons and all of that, but I'm just asking myself questions, which is very powerful, and I really like that I've arrived here, and I'm not, I guess it's just timing and everything like that. So I just ask myself questions, like when I go and do something, when I go and meet someone or anything like that, how does this serve me? What is this doing for me? Am I actually having fun? Am I just sticking around to make other people happy? Like, what really is serving me to my highest self and going to expand my soul, really, is kind of the journey that I'm on going forward. Again, I'm not going to put alcohol into my body this year to see if I can do it, 1, 2, to see how I feel at the end of the year. And I'm also trying to really raise my vibrations and become aware of like just good feelings. So I think taking alcohol out of the picture will get me to that goal. There's that. And then also with food, which I know is a touchy subject to a lot of people, because I know there's different body types, I know there's different metabolisms, I know there's different body conditions, and I'm not here to shame anybody, but I am asking you to consider and be more aware of what you do put into your body. And I'm not perfect by any means. I am a sugar addict. Like, hi, my name is Brittany, I'm addicted to sugar. That has been my life. I've just always eaten that way, especially growing up as a kid, eating nothing but sugar in the morning. It's gotten a lot better though. I'm a lot better than what I used to be. I try and trick my body by eating fruit or chocolate covered fruit. That kind of does the trick for me. And I also watched a video about this guy who gave a really good analogy and I guess visualization of imagining like your organs, or we can use the example of alcohol. So when you consume alcohol and you know it is not good for your liver, think of like all the cells in your liver as a mini world, like how we're humans on this planet. All of your cells are on like their own planet, having their own dramas and day-to-day lives of what they need to do. So every time we drink alcohol, it's like a natural disaster to them. They're like, again? We gotta clean up this mess again? Like your body's every time you eat something that's highly processed or just not really hard for your body to break down, your body's working overtime and constantly. So it's trying to get you obviously to a state of health and okay, we can finally chill, but when you constantly keep your body in this state of repair, I don't think it's good, obviously. And I also, that's the mindset my mind kind of goes to, versus eating for pleasure, which also was a very majority of my life, eating for pleasure, but now more eating for what my body needs and the fuel that will keep it going and getting me to experience life the way that I want to. Also, on that same tip, and this is very heavy, but you've got to do your shadow work and befriend your demons and befriend your shadows and all of that, because that too will put strain on your body and clump up in areas. We have an energy flow of meridians and houses in our bodies, so if we are not tending to traumas or any of that, it will get stuck in areas, and that's really what causes disease too. So emotional and also what we put into our bodies is really important. And I'll give a little story. When I was in Colombia 2 years ago now, in 2019, I was in the mountains in the Sierra Nevada mountains, and I decided to get a massage. And so this woman rides up the mountain on her scooter, and I don't speak Spanish. I understand way more now than I did then, but I needed a translator, so the front desk girl ends up sitting in to my massage. I'm literally butt naked lying on this table while she's there, and the lady is massaging me and translating for me. So she starts feeling around in my stomach first, and she's like, oh, have you had gastritis, which is your stomach being inflamed? And I'm like, yeah, because earlier that year I had taken too much ibuprofen and destroyed my stomach. I hate painkillers, side note. And so the fact that she knew that by just feeling around, she's like, yeah, you gotta watch out for that, and gave me some tips. And then also she just kept going and feeling around, and she didn't tell me, I didn't know what organs she was touching, but she said, okay, how's your relationship with your parents? And I'm like, fine. And she looks at me like, I'm like, no, really, it's fine. And she's like, no. And she's like, well, how much do you tell them that you love them? And I was like, well, I tell my mom all the time, but I guess not my dad too much. And she was like, yeah, you need to. She said, every time you don't tell your dad how you feel, it's going to build up right here, and you're gonna feel the pain of it. And she just kept bringing all this stuff up. She said, even my last relationship, she told me to think of my body as a house, but since I haven't released like the pain or I guess sadness and everything that came with it. My body was my house, my new house, but inside was all old furniture. And in my current relationship, at the time, if I didn't get rid of that old furniture, that the relationship wouldn't last. And so I'm just near tears. I don't want to cry in front of this amazing woman because I don't want her to think I'm some dumb American. But I'm like near tears. So I'm just sharing that story because I think it reinforces what I'm saying about needing to clear that trauma and understand it and accept it. And again, befriend your demons, befriend your shadows. It's very conducive to your life moving forward. With the journey of self-love, it is going to be a lifelong process. And I know it's very, very heavy to realize that everything that you want to do is up to you. And all the teachings and everything, you have to be your parent now. You have to be your own teacher. If you want to reach certain milestones or goals, or within anything, jobs, relationships, if you want to have a deep connection with the world in your life, you have to have a deep connection with yourself first. And it's just going to be a lifelong process to cultivate that and to nurture that relationship. And the thought of it is heavy, but it's also really beautiful that we get that option. We get this little vessel to walk with us and to experience with us through our life. And we really are all we have. Like, I am all that I have. I can't rely on anyone else. Eventually, everyone's gonna fade away from me. And that is a very scary thought. So I understand the heaviness and the job of this deep relationship with yourself. But again, it's so worth it. And I encourage anyone to be bold and look at yourself and accept all parts of you, because it's what makes you the most special person and the most loving and unique and passionate and powerful person. So those are my tips. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you even made it this far, that's really cool. Again, this was just for me to get more comfortable talking to the camera and the nothingness. So I think I'm getting there. I don't mind making bad videos and releasing them, just because any progress is progress. I'm gonna stumble until I hit a stride and I start running, and I'm gonna be really good at editing videos and all of that jazz. So it's all good. It's all part of the process. I will be back here next Monday to share some more insights, or maybe we'll do another meditation, because that was also fun and I got really great feedback about that. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you like this, please like it. If you found it entertaining, please like it and subscribe. So bye. See you next time.